Yeah, that's cute, right? You thought that, yeah, all of the shit going on in the Middle East, Europe, US, political upheaval, economic problems, horrible inflation, crippling economic, social changes. Yeah, but you know what? Let's throw some more shit into this and talk about the freaking end of the world, as in the Day After Tomorrow movie. Guys, welcome to the channel, The Modern Survivalist. Before we go on, if you want to get prepared, which you definitely should, in case you haven't noticed, I strongly suggest you start checking out the videos in the channel. I also suggest you get my books, Street Survival Skills and Surviving the Economic Collapse. So what is it I'm talking about here? Well, yeah, you saw the movie The Day After. It's actually quite good. I actually saw it recently with the kids, with the wife, and it holds up very well. That Jake Gyllenhaal doing teenager, yeah, it is very solid. A lot of fun. It's a very good movie. You should watch it. So the thing is this: it is real, and yes, this is likely to happen, kind of inevitable at some point, but yeah, the Gulf Stream is on the verge of collapsing, leading climate change scientists warn, plunging the UK into a new ice age. Yeah, and it kind of sucks, right, for UK. But this has been going on for a long time. I've talked about this in the channel before, so if you've been around here for a while, you know, years ago, we've been talking about this, and this is the thing, this is the world, this is how it works. Some things take hundreds of years, thousands of years, a few decades. Well, this is already happening. This is already kind of a thing. And at some point, it could accelerate quite a bit, which is cool. It sucks, but it's still fascinating nonetheless. So the story goes this way: how the Atlantic Ocean giant conveyor belt works. Well, it moves water from one place to the other, and while moving water, it also moves heat. So when you have a current that goes up from here, all the way up here, goes over there, and comes back down, what it does is brings warm water from the equator, right, from that hot area in the planet, just brings nice hot water all the way up there, and it just throws all of that in the British Isles. You see Ireland over there, you see Great Britain, and you see all of this stuff. Well, all of the water that comes here makes all of this a lot more livable. Because if you know the kind of weather that you have, and I know these places quite well, if you know the kind of weather, well, yeah, weather in the UK sucks, right? Ireland too. Very rainy, foggy, cloudy, shitty, but it's not really all that cold compared to the weather that you have over here. Or over here. These places get significantly colder in winter, and that's because of this warm water that just throws this heat in these islands. Because of this conveyor belt of heat, basically, this is not as cold as it could be. And that is the key problem with this conveyor belt thing slowing down. Now, when I looked into this a few years ago, it's quite interesting that if you cut a tube of earth, right, you see different strata of things that have happened at different times. There have been different ice ages, some mini ice ages every 10,000 years or so, and there's some point in history in which something here happened, and assumed that at some point here there was a big ice wall, like in Game of Thrones, right? The ice wall. Well, at some point that broke, and a lot of water fell into the salty water of the ocean, and that made a chemical imbalance that changed things, and that triggered a giant ass ice age. Apparently, that's something that's one of the theories thrown around. But we do know that the world always goes through these different processes. Now, when let's go through this thing. It says the network of ocean currents which keeps the Earth climate stable could be about to collapse. In an open letter, 44 of the world's leading climate scientists say that the key Atlantic Ocean includes Gulf streams are on the brink of failure. The scientists caution that the collapse of the Atlantic Meridian overturning circulation amok could lead to devastating and irreversible impact which affect the entire world for centuries to come. Affect, but not in the same way. Some are more screwed than others. We'll get into that in a second. The resulting climate fallout could plunge the UK into a new ice age, with winter temperatures plummeting up to 15 degrees. That would be pretty damn cold, below the current average. While the collapse of the Gulf Stream would be disastrous for Britain, that vital current is just one small part of the massive global system. Giant ocean conveyor belt is critical for moving heat around the planet, but research suggests that it has been slowing down and could soon reach a tipping point. So yeah, but again, this is planet stuff. This takes a long time. Does it? Well, not anymore. This is kind of like right now. Right now, maybe 10 years, maybe 100 years. We'll get into that in a second. But the thing is this is sort of inevitable. At this point, this will happen. This is just the way it is. This has slowed down to that point, and it will. It will get a lot colder over here. And this is what they found. Research from the University of Copenhagen published earlier this year found that a collapse could occur at any time from 2025. 2025 is 2 months away, right? So if you're kind of worried about this, yeah. By looking at ocean temperature data over the last 150 years, the research argues such scenarios is 95% certain by the end of the century. Current greenhouse gas emission yeah, this is the bullshit part. This is probably what is true, right? It's not about the emissions. You're not going to change the climate of the planet with driving a fucking Tesla. This is just the way the world works for thousands and thousands of years. And this is going to happen, very much so, based on all of the actual scientific evidence and the differences of temperature and how this is moving. This is slowing down and will probably very soon stop. Now, the thing that is a lot less dramatic is that, yeah, when this stops, for sure, this will be, this is a little bit of an exaggeration. But think about London having Copenhagen kind of a winter. Yeah, a lot colder. Hey, that's going to suck. Now, is it the end of the world? Not really. And also, on the other hand, we have to be honest about this too. It may suck for some parts of the world, and other parts will see maybe a benefit. May see a lot, for example, maybe a lot less storms, like these destructive hurricanes and big storms in the Caribbean, in Florida, and so on. Maybe it benefits from that. Maybe the climate changes and it becomes a lot less swampy, and that changes the geography and the flora, fauna. And yeah, maybe a lot of species do go extinct, but maybe it becomes a lot better for agriculture. Maybe you have more land that is productive for humans in these parts. So this is the way it's always been. For not only the world, but for humanity. Humans have been around for a fucking long time, and we've adapted to all of these things. So maybe less rain, less tropical-ish climate over here, maybe more deserted conditions in some parts here, because this stops and it concentrates the heat and it's not slowing down the heat, the accumulation of heat, and this becomes maybe more deserted. But it's just like in the same way that you now see in parts of the Sahara floods when it didn't exist before, and you see flora, fauna just sprouting in these places. That's just the way the world works, guys. It's been found that you have oceans where you have deserts now. In the Sahara, you have seashells. How the hell do you think they got there? Someone placed them there? Of course not. That's just the way the world is. It just changes. It just something we need to adapt to as it goes by. And this is part of preparedness as well. Yeah, this shit could go down at any moment. It could accelerate, maybe not in such a dramatic fashion, but if you are a parent, maybe for your kids, your grandkids, you're thinking about the future, yeah, it's just about planning and staying ahead of these things. That's going to be all for now. See you in our next video. Take care.